Hi, my name is Vlootman and I'm the Chief Information Security Officer at Backbase. Cybercrime today continues to be very profitable for the attackers. They are bringing in more than the top 4 tech companies combined in revenue, whilst the cost for the defenders keeps on increasing trillions each year. Attackers will go where the money is, and that's why financial institutions have to worry. The number one threat globally is phishing and social engineering. And here we see attackers leveraging AI to create more convincing fake personas day by day. Another threat is credential theft, where we see attackers leveraging valid credentials to log in the application. Another one is lack of effective vulnerability management. With the time window between the known vulnerability and exploitation shrinking, it's even more important to get this right. Another threat for banks are DDoS attacks, which cause significant disruption. And another one is ransomware and malware deployment. Attackers continue to leverage and exploit application vulnerabilities. And there's only a handful that is responsible for the majority of attacks. All of these trends cause significant operational disruption, reputational damage, and direct fraud-related costs. A key responsibility for CISO in banking is to ensure the C-suite is in touch with cybersecurity risks relating to the company's objectives, the strategy, and the business outcomes. Cyber risk management, identifying, assessing, and mitigating cybersecurity threats, whether they are internal or coming from third-party suppliers. Adherence to regulatory requirements, working with legal and compliance teams to ensure security measures are in place according to the requirements from different regulatory frameworks. Incident response, which means taking care of breaches when they happen, cultivating a culture of strong security awareness in the bank. But what's needed today, in addition, is a strong focus on building cyber resilience to ensure the bank can continue to operate in case of a compromise. The usual KPIs that banks use to track security focus on whether or not we're in control. Do we understand all the assets? Do we understand who is on our network? Also, we track the number of vulnerabilities and whether they are remediated within a given SLA, which is good, but I do think we need a KPI that will also track how effective security is. We spend time, resources, and money to buy security solutions, but rarely do we check what value it brings. So what's needed on top of the traditional identify the assets and then put security controls in place and policies and procedures and monitoring and the security awareness, we need to look at each of these assets, whether they're internal or coming from a third party, and understand how can we detect if they're compromised, how can we reduce the impact if they're compromised. We don't have to reinvent the wheel here. We can use the zero trust principles to help ensure we can mitigate the impact of any compromise. So what does it mean that Backbase is secure by design? It means that security is not an afterthought, but is built into every phase of the SDLC to help ensure the delivery of secure software. But it's also about implementing and taking on the zero trust principles, building in detection engineering. That will help the operational teams that will have to run our software in production. The engagement banking platform is built using zero trust principles. This helps us to achieve cyber resilience and helps us to identify compromise early. To address supply chain risks, Backbase offers software transparency using the industry standard SBOM, behavioral intelligence to combat fraud, user profiling to track legitimate users, to identify fraud and genuine cases. Backbase Identity brings you strong customer identity and access management, secure, phishing-resistant authentication options to enhance the user experience and security. And for those using Backbase as a service, we offer runtime protection of production workloads, mitigating application vulnerabilities, including 0 days. This is all possible in the Backbase engagement banking platform.